Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another inspiring fireside chat. Today we have with us Angel Overbey, and then we'll be talking about her story, how losing more than 70 pounds helped her to define her career, basically, and how she has built classes that are literally for everybody. My name is Paola Shah. I am the founder and CEO of Tucketts. Tucketts are high-performing grip socks that enhance the foot-brain connection and give you confidence to step in any barefoot activity. And I see Angel here. We're going to connect. I'm waiting. Let's see. Oh yeah, it works.
Hi.
Hi Angel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, and really happy to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You have been one of our clients for a while, for a long time, and I always love how much you love Tucketts, and I love always your pictures.
Thank you.
You so much for all your support.
Absolutely. I remember meeting you for the first time at the World Bar Summit a couple years ago and was just like Googling over your socks, and I was like, I love these because I like my toe freedom. So
Yeah.
4 pairs, and now I've got a lot more. So
Yeah,
yes.
I know, and this is great. So we have around 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I want to start straight away. And then I always like for my guests to introduce themselves because I don't want to miss absolutely anything.
Okay.
So who is Angel today?
Angel today. So if you see any sharks swimming around, it's my two dogs. They won't leave me alone. So I've got two puppies here at my feet right now. But my name is Angel, and I actually it's my 40th birthday tomorrow. So that has been a tough pill to swallow these last few weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I was talking to one of my regular clients, and I said, I am at my happiest and healthiest that I've ever been. And I started my journey, oh my gosh, 11 years ago. I started teaching yoga, and I was at my heaviest weight. And I decided, I was like, I want to teach yoga to make it accessible for everybody. And I have since lost about 70 pounds. And so I know what it's like to teach and to work out in that bigger shell. And I have really made it a point in my classes, if it's I teach yoga, bar, cycling, Tabata, Pilates, that I want my classes to be available to everybody. And so I'm constantly offering modifications. I want people to feel confident in their bodies, and wherever you are on your journey and in your shell. And I want everybody to move with a freedom that is good for their body and their range of motion. And so I take a lot of pride in that. And I had a new client last night in one of my bar classes, and she'd always been really hesitant to come to a bar class. And I said, don't worry. I said, I got you. I know what it's like to work out and feel uncomfortable in your skin. So I've got you. And that's what I do right now.
And then, so let's go back a bit in time.
Yes.
And what were you doing before?
Before I started
a fitness
star.
Star.
I was a store manager for Starbucks. I worked at Whole Foods Market for a couple years, and it was when I was at Whole Foods Market, I took my first yoga class, and I fell in love with it. And then I kept going to more and more classes, and then that's when I pursued becoming a yoga instructor. And I then went to Lululemon. I worked for Lululemon for a few years, and I left there, and I was like, I want to pursue this fitness thing full time. So I'm also a licensed massage therapist. So I see a lot of my clients become my students, and a lot of my students become my clients. And I love blending the worlds, especially of yoga and massage, and bringing breath work into massages with my clients, and then my knowledge of muscles for my yoga classes, and making sure everybody moves safely and moves well in their bodies. And that's where I was. So I was doing, corporate. I worked for huge companies, Starbucks and Lululemon and Whole Foods. And now I'm here with my two dogs and teaching a bunch of classes and seeing clients for massage.
Well, that's amazing. And then could you please share a bit more about what took you, or what was the trigger to make that decision of, okay, I'm going to make the effort to lose some weight, or to put everything onto losing weight?
Yeah.
And then why was that important to you?
So I'm 5'10", and I've always been a bigger girl. And at my highest weight, I was 240 pounds, and I knew it just wasn't healthy for me. And once I started doing yoga, I realized that some of the poses that I wanted to try, they didn't work for my body type. And so I was shifting my body around. I was making the practice work for me. And then I said, I think I want to pursue this more. I want to better myself. And so I started eating better and started incorporating different kinds of exercises. Yoga is a beautiful practice, but I knew I needed something to kind of kickstart my fitness regimen. And so I started doing some different workouts. I started doing bar, and I loved it. And I think like my first, because it's kind of come in waves. I think the first little block, I think I lost like 40 pounds, and I was like, oh, this is great. And then I kind of plateaued. We all get to that spot where we plateau. And then once I decided to pursue fitness, I kind of kicked it up a little bit more. And I know that I'm never going to be that skinny little wafy girl. And I'm very, very strong. And I take a lot of pride in that, because I want people to look at me and know that, anybody can do these classes, and you don't have to be a certain height or weight or have a certain physique to do classes, and to feel good in your own body wherever you are. And I'm happy with where I'm at, and I'm feeling strong and confident. And like I said, I'm in the best health that I've been in. I mean, I look back 10, 12 years ago, and it was a completely different version of me. And so I call it Angel 2.0. Here I am. So
well, tomorrow will be Angel 4.0.
Yes, exactly. Level 40 for me.
Well, which is great. But you seem like you were like not sure about feeling good about the transition turning 40.
It's a big number. And everybody is, 40's the new 30, 50's the new 40. And I know it's just a number, but it's a big number. And so I've spent this last week kind of reflecting on where I am now and where I was 10 years ago. And I've come so far in those last 10 years that I know that these next 10 years, this next decade is going to be just as good. But it's a big number. So my wife texted me today, and she said, tomorrow's your birthday. Are you okay with it? And I was like, I think so, yeah. I'm excited to celebrate tomorrow. And it's just another opportunity to keep doing what I love, and to let people know, hey, I'm going to be 40. I don't feel like it. I don't think I look like it. And I can still kick your butt just as much as I could maybe 20 years ago. So
yeah. And at the end, I think age, probably as you said, like maybe 20 years ago, you were not as fit, happy as you
Absolutely.
are today, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And then it's not a question of age. It's a question of health and mind.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to remind myself. I know it's just a number. And like you said, I'm so much happier and healthier than I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And somebody asked me the other day, they said, what is your dream job? And I said, I'm doing it. I'm helping people reach the best version of themselves. I'm challenging them in a bar class. I am challenging them in a yoga class, or anything that I do. And so I'm living my dream every single day. And I love, last year when the world shut down and I started a virtual
Mhm.
fitness platform, it was fantastic because it pushed me to new limits. I was doing things that I had never done before, filming and talking in front of a camera, and I was able to reach so many more people virtually than I would have in person. And I love that, but I love that in-person classes are back for the time being, and really being able to hone in on people and make sure that they're in the right alignment and challenge them and support them and be their loudest cheerleader.
And then, so let's talk about your classes for everybody.
Yes.
So, in a class, when you
Mm-hmm.
have different types of body, and as you said, are you teaching still yoga, or you just teach now more bar than?
I teach bar, yoga, cycling, and virtually I do Tabata and virtual mat Pilates as well.
Yeah. So let's say mat Pilates.
Okay.
Uh, so in a class that there are different uh, body types,
Mm-hmm.
how within a class, what advice would you give to another instructors on how to handle or to make sure every student is taken care of, given that you have so many students and
Yes.
their levels are so different, and maybe also their bodies are so different, and sometimes out of my interviews that I have done, what I have discovered is a real challenge for people with different types of body, any
Mm-hmm.
extreme, uh, to feel welcome, to
Mm-hmm.
feel they belong,
Mm-hmm.
and to feel actually confident
Yes.
around other people doing those type of exercises. And actually, it's not only body;
Mm-hmm.
it's it can be anyone
Oh,
that
it can be
feels the same
anyone.
way.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be related to body.
Mm-hmm.
So from your experience, your own experience before, when you
Mm-hmm.
had more of a large body, to now that you're
Mm-hmm.
teaching, uh, what advice would you give to other instructors?
Other instructors, I make sure if I have a new student in my class, I go up, introduce myself, I let them know who I am, how am I going to support them, and if I need to know anything about them. I've been to classes where at the beginning of a class, the instructor will say, hey, how's everybody feeling? Let me know if you have any injuries or
Mm-hmm.
ailments or anything. And everybody, you kind of crawl into your shell because they don't want to reach up their hand and say, I have this, that, and the other. And so I make it a point to introduce myself to everyone, and especially newer students as well. And then when I'm teaching, my classes are for you. They are for my students. They are not for me. I'm not there to work
Mm-hmm.
out. I will demo the move, and then I will step away from the bar. I will step off of my yoga mat or whatever to make sure that I can scan the room to make sure everybody looks well and they're moving in a good range of motion and correct alignment. And when I offer certain exercises, I don't say, do this one if you want it to be easier, or do this one if you want it to be
Mm-hmm.
harder. So I'll say, we're all going to start from here. And if you want to take it up a notch, let's try this. Or if you need to, find flat feet. If you want to find high heels, you can do that. So I never want to put it in the perspective that it's easier or harder,
Mm-hmm.
or things like that. And so last night I had a new student, and introduced myself to her. What's going on with you? And she said, I have an issue with my knees. I can't do squats. And I said, that's fine. You don't have to take your squat to parallel. You can come down as low as you'd like. Be mindful of your knees. Make sure they're tracking over the ankles. And you'll hear me offer tons of modifications to make this as challenging as you want it in this moment tonight.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, and actually that makes a whole difference between easy and difficult, right?
yes,
And how we choose words, it has a clear impact of how others perceive the exercise.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I may not recognize them because they have their mask off. So I'll go up and I'm like, hi, have I met you before? And they're like, yeah, I was here a few months ago. And I said, oh, so happy to have you back. I didn't recognize you without your mask. But I always make it a point to say hi to everyone, introduce myself to those new students as well, and make sure everybody feels good. They feel comfy. We warm up together. We laugh together. And if you're not having a good time in your workout, then why are you doing it? So.
And then, so what would you say to someone that um, is struggling with how they feel with their body? Doesn't mean there are many people that are overweight and they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I don't want to use the word overweight. I would say would have a large body.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there are other people that are slim and they're not happy with their body, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So, so it's not. I think it's such a personal perception of their own body.
Mm-hmm.
But if one of our viewers here, so future viewers, want to follow your path, like they started to love fitness, but they want to lose weight, or uh, what do you think really helped you to achieve that?
What really helped me to achieve that? I didn't want to lose weight to like look good in a bikini. I wanted to lose weight so I felt healthier and I felt stronger. And my mindset. And so a lot of people, if you're dieting or if you're wanting to lose weight, or whatever, we focus on the negative so much, well, I'm going to do this diet and I can't have this, that, and the other. But if you focus on, you know what, I can eat salads every single day, I can drink this much water, I can have this, that, and the other. And when you shift your mind, for me, that really helped. So I focused on, I'm going to eat this because it's going to fuel my body for this workout. I'm going to try to cut back. I like sweet stuff. So I was like, I'm going to cut back on some sweet stuff. And my journey is still a journey. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'm constantly posting about, um, every day is a new day. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
wait for a new year or a new week or a Monday. And, if you had a bad eating day for you, that's just scratch it to the side and start over, start fresh the next day. And don't be so hard on yourselves, and feel good in the skin that you're in. And just know that whatever you're doing, if you're going to your workout, you're just reaching up to be a better version of yourself.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Yes,
that's great. Thank you. Thank
you're
you for
welcome.
so much wisdom. And so, what is your higher purpose?
What is my higher purpose? Oh man. My higher purpose is, I think, am I going to be able to do this forever? You know, my higher purpose is making sure people move safely in their bodies. And I want to explore different ways of movement. And, I've taught a few chair yoga classes, so making chair
Mm.
yoga accessible for people that may need that. And I've had a few of my older clients where I teach at Five Seasons in Dayton, Ohio. They said, Angel, your bar classes are too hard, and we need what did they call it? Like an elderly bar class. And I said, we're not going to do an elderly bar class. I said, what if we do like a silver bar class where it's 30 minutes of movement and we are standing up the entire time? Because some clients might have a hard time coming from the ground and getting back up. And so, like in my classes now, we do all of our standing work. And then once we are down on the floor, we're down on the floor for the rest of the time until the end of class, because some clients might have opportunities from the floor to standing, floor to standing. And so I've done a couple silver bar classes where it's not such big range of motion, and making it work for their bodies. I have a woman who comes to my class, and she has had a double knee replacement, and so she doesn't like squats. And so finding out something better for her, a different movement that's going to mimic like that glute work. So I think my higher purpose is to keep moving in my body and help other people move in their body, no matter their age, their size, their range, or whatever they are in, is to keep moving safely and in a way that feels good to them.
Yeah, and I think that's beautiful and amazing, because sometimes when I go to classes or I attend different classes and you look around, and I think sometimes instructors are either have too many students in one class, or so they cannot dedicate much of their time,
Yes.
like to each student. But I think it's extremely thoughtful of you to adapt and to figure out, like what you said, like instead of doing up and down all the time, we stand, and at the end of and then we go to just lying down or being on the floor, and that's it. And then I guess people get exactly the same value.
Yes.
But it just makes that easier for whoever is having certain issues.
Exactly. Yes.
And it's those are the small adjustments that are really impactful. Yeah. So this is great. And then, so in almost anyone's journey, it's very rare that we do it all on our own, right? I always said I have angels, angels that have supported me or helped me. It can be a word, it can be knowledge, it can be so many other things. So who has been there for you to support you in this last decade of being in the fitness industry? And who do you admire that is a mentor or becoming a virtual mentor?
So over the last 10 years, my wife has been a huge support to me, and she's pushed me to do these things to help me feel uncomfortable, finding comfort in the discomfort, I like to say. And especially over this last year, I have a tribe of my three loudest cheerleaders, my friend Melanie, Erin, and my friend Claire. And I have a lot of self-doubt that pops up from time to time, because you'll see the shiny, super fit, toned fitness influencers and instructors on Instagram and on Facebook. And then I look at myself and I'm like, oh, man, should I be doing more? Like, do I look like a fitness instructor? Do I have this certain persona? And when I started my Angel on Demand Fit virtual platform last year, I secretly did it for myself, because I was like, I went from teaching 13 classes a week to 0 because the world had shut down. And then once I put it out there into the world that I was going to start doing these virtual classes, and if anybody'd like to join me, within a few weeks, I had 500 people. And I was like, wow. Oh, okay, like it was so encouraging to me, and it really filled my bucket. And if I'm ever feeling down, or if I just feel like, I don't want to do this fitness thing anymore, I've got my group chat with my 3 girls, and they're like, hey, you really killed it in class today, like great chat, and like you've got this. And so definitely my wife and my 3 friends, Claire, Erin, and Melanie, have been my biggest supporters. And my mentors, I don't have a specific mentor, but but the people that show up at the end of every one of my classes, if I'm teaching yoga, if I'm teaching bar, if I'm teaching cycling, I always thank them for showing up for me, because when they show up for me, they're showing up for themselves. And so I wouldn't be here doing what I love if they weren't showing up for themselves and showing up for me. And so anytime someone comes to one of my classes, I appreciate them, and I value that time so much, because, you know, just stealing 45 minutes away or 60 minutes, that can be like a lot of time to someone. And there's a woman who comes to my classes regularly, and she said, Angel, you know, I was thinking to myself, I see these girls every day working out, and I'm here. And she's like, and then I realized I'm here every day. And I said, you are. And she said, you know, I wouldn't be here doing this every day if it wasn't for you. And I just, like, my cup just overflowed, because, you know, if she wasn't showing up for me, you know, she wouldn't be showing up for herself. And so those people that show up for my classes, they allow me to do what I love every day.
Yeah, that's and then, as you said, like having cheerleaders is so important.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, building a tribe. And this is where I want kind of to get, and what I like about these conversations is like, behind the perfect picture on Instagram or the amazing workout video, there is a human being, you know,
yes,
that, as happy as it looks, it also struggles in certain things.
Absolutely.
And thank you for just being so honest and showing that, because I think it's very important that humans were humans, and then a perfect picture doesn't show the soul of someone. So yeah, so this is great. And then so I always ask, you know, I mean, of course, you know, Tucketts, and we're all about feet.
Yes.
And I always ask the question is, what's the relationship with your own feet? I have come across many people that actually don't like their feet, or it has taken them time to really value and like their feet. So what are your thoughts on your own feet?
Well, I have the tops of my feet are completely tattooed. I have blowing cherry blossoms across the top of my feet, because, and I think they're 10 years old. So 10 years ago, I was like, I hate feet. I don't like them. And so I got the tops of my feet tattooed because I wanted them to be pretty. And I'm always barefoot because I'm teaching yoga, I'm teaching bar. And so I wanted pretty feet. And then fast forward to when I was in massage school, and I learned so much more about the feet, the intricate muscles and all of the bones. And, you know, we take for granted what we carry around with us all day on our feet. And so now, like, when I see clients for massage, I'll always ask, you know, if there's any part of you that you want me to stay away from, face, scalp, and feet. I kind of die on the inside if somebody doesn't allow me to massage their feet, because they need that love. And I get in there and find movement and do ankle rotations and mobility work and things like that. And so since I've gone to massage school, I love taking care of my feet, and I do trigger point work with my clients, and we'll use a trigger point ball and we'll roll through the sole of our feet. And through yoga, I'm constantly talking about our feet, and even in our bar classes, to make sure you're pressing down, you're spreading your toes wide. And I said, when is the last time you wiggled your toes around and kind of find movement in through your feet? So 10 years ago, I would have told you I didn't like feet, but now I'm older and wiser. And I'm turning 40. And so I'm constantly, you know, I wear flip-flops as long as I can throughout the year, so I can show off my pretty tattoos on my feet, and wear my Tucketts with my flip-flops. And I talk about feet in my bar. I talk about feet in all of my classes. You know, even when I'm cycling, I'm like make sure you wiggle your toes around in your shoes and notice if you're gripping, and just kind of relax. So I talk about feet a lot.
And then for us, I mean, when I created Tucketts, it was a lot about not losing the barefoot sensation when you are
Mm-hmm.
doing specifically a barefoot workout, and to have that foot brain connection active.
Yes.
But the other reason it was about giving people something to look at their feet and kind of, as you said, you got tattoos to make them look more beautiful.
Yes.
We give people a pair of Tucketts look more beautiful. You know.
Yes.
And, so that's why kind of our socks, we put a lot of thought into the design
Mm-hmm.
and how the sock will look on a feet and everything, because it's about it's part of taking care of the feet, right? And bringing
Absolutely.
that awareness of the importance of the feet. And then we have had clients that have told us, like, until I wore a pair of Tucketts, I wasn't really paying attention to my feet.
Yes.
It's like, okay. Well,
and I do like,
great.
So one more little thing. I like how you put the right and left on the bottom now.
Oh.
So now it's just that design or whatever you have on top. That was a great little change on there. So,
oh, you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I did notice
we
that.
Changed that. We now put it at the, and like with everything, the product evolves. And,
Yes.
And we love that you notice that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I love your product.
Oh my God, you're going to love our fall collection.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh my God, yeah. It's going to be. Just to give a hint, I did the photo shoot in Tanzania when I went to climb Kilimanjaro.
Oh my goodness.
So I can't wait to launch that collection.
Yes, that sounds magical.
Angel, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you for having me
today. It's great, and I love to always talk to our clients and get to know them. And then, as you know, we are here for you. Anything that we can help or support, just let us know.
Okay.
And we keep in touch.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.